be all right. And she saw the bright side of the situation and accepted her scars, embraced them even. After all, our scars are just part of our lives. As Albert Einstein once said, life is like riding a bicycle. In order to keep your balance, you must keep moving. But my grandmother never stopped moving, never even thought about it, never in a million years. Grandma Debbie, thank you for teaching me that everyone is golden, everyone is loved. You are living proof that by accepting yourself, you can be happy. Thank you for showing me that in hard times, faith and love will give you the push that you need to get through.
Hi, my name is Ariana Smith, and I'm dedicating this poem to my mom. College, your finest years. You're working to get a better education for your dream job. Your assignment's screaming at you to get them completed and turned in on time. Now think about a baby. When, where, whenever, wherever, and for no reason whatsoever. With college being a more sophisticated learning environment, a baby is not something you should bring. But for my mom, Ashley Goodwin, bringing her baby was a must. College, your finest hours. Your baby, a giant change in your life. What a giant can of worms. Not only was my mom in college, but she worked not one, but 2 jobs. Now imagine that. College, a baby, and 2 jobs. My mom definitely had her eyes on the prize. My mom was and will always be a survivor. Like a bull, she pushed through her problems. She had morals, valuing what was important to her. She had a sense of humor. Laughing at your troubles, even if it was just for a few seconds, the happiness was always there. She had faith, believing things would get better. Guess what? It did. My mom graduated college on time, raised me, and later had 2 other children. My mom was a lion. She never backed down from her problems. If problems came up in a roar, she would roar louder. Gloria Estefan once said, my mom was a source of strength. She showed me, women, regardless of how hard life may get, can get through it all. I saw this quote before, but I didn't really understand it until now. Thank you, Mom, for everything. Your resilience inspired me to do better and be better. I don't know what I'd do without you. I mean, I probably wouldn't be here, but that's the point. You'll always have a special place in my heart because, 17 and a half hours should definitely not go to waste.
Hi, my name is Kalea Snow, and I'm dedicating this poem to my mom. Death, the one word over half the population fears. Hearing the word death creates an instant pain coming from your heart, like your heart was pounded into the ground by the sound. Sometimes death is like a jack-in-the-box. You don't know when it will appear, but it will eventually arrive. Sometimes the jack comes out of the box earlier than you expect. That's what happened to my mom. Her firstborn child died at only 3 months old. Imagine as a mother thinking you will be there every breath taken, every laugh let out, every step of the way, then having that ripped from your hands, like a candy cane stolen from a child. This is what Dana Coden had to deal with. As Franklin Roosevelt once said, when you reach the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on. That's exactly what my mom did. She was able to hang on to that rope because she was a survivor, she had a strong social support group, and she had acceptance. Having acceptance is the first step to overcoming adversity. Knowing that Liam wasn't coming back was extremely difficult for my mom, but knowing that she'll see her baby again brought her joy. Being a survivor means being able to cope with your difficulties. My mom said she was at her all-time low, but the only thing that means is there's nowhere to go but up. Life is a never-ending roller coaster. It starts out with you going up a humongous hill, then going down, then going up, and then going down. You know the track never stops, so the only thing you have left to do is hold on. Thank you, Mom, for showing me that everyone goes through hard times. Always listen to your heart, and no matter what happens, you are worth it. I love you so much, and I want you to know you are my role model. You are the person I look up to every day. And you show me that just because you're at your all-time low doesn't mean you have to stay there.
Hi, my name is Hallie White, and I'm dedicating this poem to my dad. Death, a word that would scare anyone away. Not many would be brave enough to face it, knowing that it could strike, leaving you breathless. Death. A snake that has the ability to strike its victim like a lightning bolt in the eye of a storm. Crack. My dad, Jameson White, had the courage to face death eye to eye, working boiler jobs to make money for his family, to put food on the table and a roof over their heads. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it didn't matter to him. He loved his family and wanted to care for them, even with the knowledge of knowing that something could go wrong at any moment. Working in temperatures as high as 1,500 degrees, something's bound to happen. He didn't care, as long as his family was cared for. My dad was a working mule, working as a welder week after week. His jobs would drain the life out of him, pulling the plug to his pool of energy, letting it go down, 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 letting it plummet into the depths of darkness until there was nothing left. He still, somehow, seemed to have an endless supply. There would be days it seemed he could work for decades, until the day had come that death stared him in the face. With lights to see what he was doing and a special suit acting as a blanket of protection and comfort, he pushed himself into the dark room of dangerous possibilities and fear. The heat had melted his cord, and he was a lamb stuck in the dark, helpless. His mind was racing around the room at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and his heart beating 100 times per second. He never gave up. Like Albert Einstein once said, life is like a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. My dad kept moving. He kept pushing the pedals. Faith, survivor, and problem solver. Those are attributes of resilience that explains my dad. With his lights out, hands half exposed to the heat, and his air-conditioned suit beginning to lose its cool, he carefully and slowly felt his way out. That day, he was able to come home to his family with nothing more than a few light burns. He truly was a survivor, not a victim. Dad, thank you for showing me that you should never give up, no matter how hard you think it might be. I thank you for not stopping to try. If you would have quit, you wouldn't be here today. I am positively grateful for what you did. You have truly inspired me. You have showed me that death is just a word, and that it can easily be blown away.
My name is Daphne Worley, and I dedicate this poem to Sandy Whitaker. Fault. Is it, or is it not? To Sandy Whitaker, it felt as though it was. Stories. False stories. 1,000 mistakes made up by her aunt to get her in trouble. Days gone by, wishing she wasn't a kid. She couldn't run from the turmoil that pursued her. Whoosh. She was the bullseye on the target. But no matter what happened, she always wanted to please. Her parents would try to help, but nothing was permanent. Days, weeks, spent at her grandparents' house. Drawing and singing, clearing her mind. She held her head high. Finally, she realized that if her aunt's husband could leave her, that she could too. Unaware of her faith. Faith was like the bird flying over her head, but unseen in the clouds. But it rubbed off on the people that were going through the same thing. Creativity, drawing, and singing. Survivor. She doesn't go around and show her pain, living, loving, and laughing. Like Anne Frank said, I don't think about all of the misery, but all of the beauty that still remains. Nana, thank you for sharing your past with me. You've inspired me to keep my head high and always look for the bright side of a situation.
Aren't these pretty special kids? Yeah. So when they first found out what this project was going to entail,